It started last night. 3 quiet knocks on the door, just after 2 in the morning, exactly like the last 4 nights. Knock, knock, knock. I know I'm not supposed to open it. I know what I saw. But when you hear children's voices whispering your name in the dark, when you see their silhouettes pressed against the frosted glass, it's hard not to hope, even just a little, that it's all some horrible mistake. The Wilson kids died 5 years ago. Their house went up in flames in the middle of the night. Faulty wiring, they said. By the time anyone noticed the smoke, it was too late. The family was trapped upstairs. The whole street woke up to their screams. I woke up too, but I didn't do anything. I stood at my window and watched the fire swallow their house. I told myself it was already too late, that by the time I could have run out, it wouldn't have mattered. But I heard the knocking, faint, desperate, just like now. It seemed to come from inside the walls. They found the parents' bodies fused together in their charred bed, but the kids were never found. Just tiny handprints on the floor, leading to the front door. There were scratches on that door, deep ones. The police said wild animals got into the house, but wild animals don't knock. Last night, I opened the door. There was no one there, but the knocking didn't stop. Now it was coming from the walls. And it's not just knocking anymore. They're talking. I hear them laughing and whispering behind the walls. They're scratching with their nails on the other side, moving from room to room, getting closer. They keep asking why I didn't help them, why I just watched, why I did nothing. I tried explaining that I was scared, that I didn't know what to do. They didn't like that answer. I don't think they're leaving this time. The lights are flickering. The air smells like smoke, and I see small handprints appearing on the wall next to me. They're already inside the house, and they're not alone. I haven't slept. After the handprints showed up on the wall, I locked myself in the bathroom and turned off the light. I don't even know why, like that would help. I sat in the tub with a knife I found in a drawer, as if it could make a difference. They didn't try to break in. They didn't need to. Around 3:15 a.m., the whispering started again. This time, it wasn't just the kids. Another voice joined them, deeper, slower, like it was learning to speak. The kids seemed afraid of it. I heard one say, "He's awake again." Then silence. And then the scratching started, but not from the walls, from inside the mirror. I swear I'm not crazy. I saw a small crack form in the center of the glass, branching out like something was building pressure behind it. Something moved on the other side, just under the surface. I looked away, and when I looked back, the mirror was fine. But my reflection wasn't. It blinked. I didn't. I left the bathroom when the sun came up. I thought daylight would drive them away, like they were tied to the night. But now it's worse. It's not just the walls, it's the pictures too. In every photo with people, friends, family, even school pictures, the eyes are gone, scraped out. But there's something worse. The Wilson kids are in the photos now. They're standing in the background, watching. In the picture on my fridge, one of them is standing behind me, smiling. I'm in that photo too, but I don't remember taking it. I don't remember ever smiling like that. I left the house by noon and drove until the gaslight came on. I stopped at a diner parking lot an hour away. I've been sitting here for I don't know how long. I have no idea where to go, but they know. I found a note under my windshield wiper. It's written in crayon. Why did you leave the door open? I didn't leave it open. I swear I locked it. Unless, no, I locked it. I'm sure I did. I'm going back home. I have to. I think whatever happened to them got out. And now it's pretending to be me, wearing my face. And if that's true, then who's been driving my car for the last 10 minutes?
A couple of weeks ago, I got a text from an unknown number. Your appointment is scheduled for 2:30 p.m., October 19th. Please arrive on time. No name, no details, just that. I figured it was a mistake or spam and ignored it. I'm not the type to randomly book appointments. My life is already full of overdue rent and last-minute grocery runs, not schedules. But the next day, another text came. Reminder, October 19th at 2:30 p.m. Don't be late. It arrived at 3 a.m., lighting up my phone on the nightstand. I blocked the number. It didn't help. The messages kept coming, every day, from different numbers, maybe burner phones or fake lines. Always the same, 3 a.m. I'd wake up to the phone vibrating, its cold light cutting through the dark. My stomach would twist every time. I called my carrier, but they said there was nothing they could do. The numbers couldn't be traced, no pattern to follow. October 19th feels like almost yesterday now. The messages stopped that morning, and I thought it was over. I was exhausted, running on coffee and raw nerves, but relieved. Around noon, my boss called me in for an unscheduled shift. They needed an extra hand, and I could use the cash. I work as a line cook, and the kitchen was chaos. Grease, shouting. I didn't check the time until I was scrubbing a pan. 2:28 p.m. My heart clenched. I told myself it was just a coincidence, but my hands were shaking. At exactly 2:30 p.m., the power went out. The kitchen plunged into darkness. No lights, no ventilation, nothing. Dead silence. Then the sound of something heavy falling in the storage room out back. My coworker, Javier, cursed and grabbed a flashlight from under the counter. I followed him, feeling my sneakers stick to the floor and my heart pounding in my throat. The storage room, where we keep the walk-in fridge and extra supplies, is cramped, cold, and windowless. A flashlight beam caught boxes, then the fridge door. It was slightly ajar. Javier muttered, "What the hell?" and stepped closer. That's when I saw it. Something was smeared on the door. Thick, dark, like oil but redder, wetter. Maybe blood, but the smell was wrong. Sharp, chemical, off. Javier reached for the handle, and I grabbed his arm, telling him to wait. He shoved me off, called me a coward, and opened the door. There was nothing inside, just a folded piece of paper lying in the middle of the floor. My name was written on it in block letters. Javier laughed nervously and said, "Someone's screwing with you, man." I couldn't pick it up. I couldn't even move. My feet felt rooted to the floor, and my mouth tasted bitter. Javier grabbed the paper, unfolded it, and immediately went pale, like he forgot how to blink. He dropped it and bolted without a word. I should have left too, but I looked. It was a photo of me, taken from above, like from a security camera, standing in my kitchen at home. I was holding a knife, staring at the countertop, but I don't remember this. And I don't own a knife like that. Long, serrated, smeared with something. Below the photo, in the same block letters, it said, "You were late." Then the power came back, and the fridge was normal again. Full of supplies, boxes, no blood, no note. I stumbled out, told the boss I was sick, and left. Javier didn't come back either. His phone's been off, and no one's seen him. I got home, checked every corner, and found nothing. But on my kitchen countertop, there were fresh scratches, deep, like something sharp had been dragged across it. I didn't sleep all night. I kept hearing footsteps above my apartment. Slow, heavy, even though I live on the top floor. At 3 a.m., my phone buzzed again. Rescheduled. April 6th, 2:30 p.m. Don't be late. That's today. It's 1:45 p.m. now, and I'm sitting here typing this because I don't know what else to do. The footsteps are back upstairs. Someone's walking, stopping right above my head. My hands are freezing, and my stomach's in knots. I don't know what'll happen at 2:30 p.m., but I know I can't run. If I don't write again, look for me. Check the news, please. I installed a doorbell camera 2 weeks ago, a cheap one from Amazon, just to keep an eye on packages and watch the house when I'm not home. I live alone in a quiet neighborhood. Nothing ever happens here. At least, that's what I thought. The first notification came at 1:47 a.m. Motion detected at front door. I opened the app, expecting to see a stray cat or maybe a passing car, but the screen showed nothing. My porch, the driveway, the dim glow of a streetlight, empty. Probably a bug flying past the sensor, I thought, and went back to bed. The next night, it happened again. 3:12 a.m. Motion detected at front door. I checked again, still an empty porch, but something felt off. The shadows looked deeper. The streetlight seemed dimmer, like something was blocking its glow. And then I made a mistake. I checked the saved footage. In a single frame, there was a figure. Tall, frozen at the edge of the camera's view, where the street ends. It wasn't walking. It wasn't passing by. It was watching. I told myself it was a glitch, a trick of the light. I deleted the clip and went back to bed, trying to ignore the sick feeling in my gut. The next night, same thing. And again, every night, at 1:47, at 3:12, at 4:56. Always one frame. And each time, the figure was a little closer. I called the police. They found nothing. After a week of this, I contacted the cops. The officer watched the footage and frowned. Maybe a camera error, or someone's prank. We'll patrol the area tonight. He swept his flashlight across my yard and down the street. Nothing. It made me feel a bit better, knowing they'd be on alert. That night, I even managed to fall asleep. Until another notification woke me. 4:03 a.m. Motion detected at front door. I opened the app, already dreading what I'd see. The figure was now standing at the start of my driveway. And this time, I could make out its face. Or what should have been a face. There were features, but they were wrong. Too smooth, too symmetrical. Like a mannequin trying to pass as human, but not quite succeeding. I threw my phone down, hands shaking. I called the police again. They arrived quickly, checked the yard and the footage. Nothing. But as one officer stepped onto the porch, he stopped. "Have you touched the door handle recently?" I frowned. "No." He pointed at it. The handle was wet, like someone had been holding it for a long time. I didn't sleep at all that night. It knows I'm watching. The next day, I didn't go to work. I stayed home, curtains drawn, constantly checking the footage. Nothing happened all day. But at exactly midnight, a new notification came. I opened the app. The image was black. Not like the camera was off, just a black screen. as if something was covering the lens. My stomach dropped. I grabbed a kitchen knife and crept toward the front door. And then, a knock. Soft, deliberate. I froze, held my breath. The knock came again. I checked my phone. The screen was still black, but the microphone worked. I pressed the audio button and whispered, "Who's there?" Silence. Then, in the quietest voice I've ever heard, someone answered. "I know you're watching." I dropped the phone. My hands went cold. My heart pounded in my ears. For the next 6 hours, I sat on the floor with the knife, waiting for dawn. The camera won't turn off. In the morning, I checked the footage again, unsure if I even wanted to see anything. At first, it looked normal. But then I opened the motion log. A new entry appeared. 3:47 a.m. But instead of motion detected at front door, it read, "Face recognized." My blood ran cold. My camera doesn't have facial recognition. My heart raced as I tapped to view the snapshot. The app froze. The screen flickered. For a split second, a photo flashed. Not of my porch, not of the street, but of me, asleep in my bed. I threw the phone across the room. My heart was pounding so hard I could barely breathe. I rushed to the front door, ripped the camera off its mount, and unplugged it. The app didn't close. The live feed kept running, even with the camera disconnected. I tried deleting the app. It wouldn't delete. I tried resetting my phone. It wouldn't stop. I turned off the Wi-Fi. The feed didn't cut out. And just now, as I'm writing this, I got another notification. Motion detected. But this time, it's not at the front door. This time, it's inside the house.
In the summer of 2014, I worked as a counselor at a tent camp in northern Michigan. It wasn't one of those fancy camps with air-conditioned cabins and daily Instagram updates. No, this was a dusty, mosquito-filled camp deep in the wilderness. Camp Fernmore, tucked behind a wall of pines, where the sun always seemed to set too early. I didn't grow up attending this camp, but my friend did. He convinced me to apply, saying it was a great place. Free food, easy money, and the best summer of your life. He left out a few details, like how the camp shut down in the early 90s after a kid went missing, or how it quietly reopened under a new name, with new management, and far fewer kids. I didn't ask questions. I was 19, broke, and needed the paycheck. My job was simple. Keep 6 12-year-olds alive and occupied. No phones, no cameras, just campfires, hikes, and living in the moment. At first, everything was fine, even boring, until that full moon night. July 11. I remember because one of the kids, Jamie, wouldn't stop whining about how his birthday was ruined by nature. In a way, he was right. That night, I was woken by a scratching sound. Not from inside the cabin, from the roof. I thought it was a raccoon. Grabbed a flashlight, climbed the rickety back ladder, and shone the light on the roof. Nothing, but the scratching stopped. When I got back down, one of the kids, Bryce, was gone. The door was wide open. I bolted into the woods. I don't know what I expected to see, but it wasn't what I found. Bryce was standing in a small clearing, completely still, eyes wide, trembling, and something else 20 feet behind him. Something massive. It was crouched like it was sniffing the ground. Its body was covered in matted black fur. Long limbs, too long, and the sounds it made, deep, rasping breaths unlike any animal I'd ever heard. It didn't seem real until it stood up, 7 feet tall, maybe more. I froze. Bryce didn't move either. Then it sniffed the air and turned toward us. I grabbed Bryce, yelled, and ran. I don't think I've ever run that fast in my life. Not even close. It didn't chase us. The next day, the camp director said Bryce had been sleepwalking. Told me to stop scaring the kids with ghost stories. But there's something I never told anyone. After that night, Bryce changed. His eyes grew darker. He barely spoke. And the next full moon, August 10th, he disappeared again. They found him 2 days later, naked, covered in someone else's blood. His fingernails were torn off. Or altered. A week later, the camp shut down. Given its history, I suspect it'll reopen next summer under a new name. If you ever think about taking a job at a camp in northern Michigan that doesn't show up on Google Maps, don't.